They should do a lot of work. Let's try it. Maybe this is a good example of what not to do. Let's see what this is. I think nachos I would prefer the most. And spiders. Many nachos. Okay. 8. Let's see. So every enemy type doesn't really matter, right? Until you in a late game you have like crazy gear and you completely overpowered. Is 2 of those, then they go around. You don't want that. Like this. So what I'm going to do now, this is like something you learn when you play this game longer. Enemies have like a certain pattern how they behave. This can change if this is like humanoids. They sometimes don't attack if they have more range. But in those beast fights, they kind of act pretty similar. And what they do is they basically charge right away and go for like your weakest spot, right? If I have like a one dude here alone, they would just jump on him and kill him, right? And then eat him. And the stuff about them, what makes them kind of, yeah, let's say they can be extremely dangerous if you don't know how to manage them. And I'm not sure if I can manage them correctly because, I mean, if I miss a lot, they actually hit pretty well. Yeah, you will see, or we will see how this turns out. He should be in the middle. He shouldn't be exposed too much. Okay, I could throw, but then I only can move here and I don't want that, so I just go first. So I have him here because you will see in a bit. He has a spear, and this can be very valuable in the beginning if fighting those. So I basically did everything. I can just skip. So what I did here, I put him on a elevation level a bit higher, so the option was there. And this just means he get bonuses, so he hits a bit better. So I just used that because it makes the fight maybe a bit easier. So I just skip and wait. So with him, I do this. So he has like a spear wall. Yeah, I mean, 25% chance to miss. Maybe I'm lucky. With him too, I don't want them to get here like directly. I want to do some damage beforehand to kind of break their morale. Because if you smash them good, let's say, and you kill like half of it, a lot of them have very bad morale and then they just run. But they are very, very bad if you lose like 2 bros and they eat them, then it can be over pretty fast. A lot of runs in the beginning are lost to them, like really. It's always tricky to do something like this. I will wait. I will get better results if I wait and then throw. But you don't want to kill somebody now, because then they just eat them. And then they grow bigger. And the second version is pretty strong, but the third version is like, yeah, very strong. So they can actually eat your people and then they can't do anything, basically. Yeah, I mean, not much I can do, actually. Don't want to waste this ammunition. I only have 5. You see, they just got hit a bit and they instantly wavering. Wavering means they get -10 on all their stats. So they hit less, they have even less resolve, you know. They have lower chances of dodging attacks and something like this. So that's very, very valuable. I'm actually thinking about moving him up a little bit. No, I don't want to throw. They should come here. Like, I always want to wait until they're at least like in melee range so I can kill them and maybe move on their corpses so the following enemies don't eat them up, basically. I do that again. That works better than I thought, actually. Yeah, the AI is not stupid. They could have moved here or here, so I could have swung. I will move here to support him a little bit. That one is pretty vulnerable, actually. Ulf the Lover. I did pretty well not coming here. I could have swung like 3 or 4 times and maybe killed 2 of them already. One hit. Good hit. We get some injuries. Actually thinking of kicking him back. Didn't work. Actually getting pretty lucky in dodging those hits. That wasn't good. So you want to attack people that are adjacent to your people. You can see here, he has like 59% if I would hit him. But if I hit him, because he is adjacent to him, I get plus 5%. You know, if there's more than even more percent, right? I want to get pressure off of him, because there's like 3 people and they get like bonuses attacking him too. Yeah, that's the life. The problem with pole weapons, and this is what I said before, when you want to hit people that are directly towards you, then you can see the chances are is like worse. Yeah, I feel I lose him. I just want to make as much damage as possible. That was really good. You see, killing one breaks them very fast. He's already bleeding. Oh. That was not smart of me. I thought they both running, but I was wrong. So what I did now is they are all running, so they will run at some point. Sometimes it's beneficial to kill off those if you want to, you know, break others, because if you kill somebody or do damage to enemies, let's say in particular doing HP damage, then it is the case that this can affect other enemies, right? You can see like I killed them and they all break pretty fast actually. But if you move into an enemy, they get like a resolve check too. So it was like possible that they come from wavering, maybe like so like the next there's like 3 stages. Like the first stage is like wavering, and then it's like breaking, and then it's fleeing or something, right? Yeah, fleeing. And every stage gets another minus 10% on all stats. So I think not all stats, but the one that matters basically. So I tried to do that, but it didn't work. Good hit. So the southern area should be clear. What I want to do now, and I hope this works, is trying to hit him. No, didn't. That was kind of lucky. No, that's sometimes when it gets too bullshitty, you miss like 95% hits or something. All the time you can actually see how bad this was and where they hit. This can be sometimes interesting to look at. It's like combat log. If you play like World of Warcraft, for example, that's kind of like the same. If you see how much damage stuff did and something like that. If you crit it and where you hit and something like this. So they are all fleeing and I don't want him to go. Of course I want to get as much kills as possible, because every kill has a chance to generate loot and of course experience. Kinda unlucky, but I try to grab them. So in this case I want to run them down, obviously. Really good. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so you can see like experience, how much damage everyone did, how much kills everyone got, and how much damage they got. Yeah, for some people this is maybe interesting, how much damage got to certain areas. Yeah. You see? And if I would have killed now, let's say 7 thugs, and it would be like the same results, it would be like, I don't know, a little bit of gold, and maybe 3 or 4 weapons, maybe 2 or 3 armor pieces, maybe an upgrade for like an head, but yeah, it's better than nothing, of course, and I'm kind of short on good contracts, but yeah, that's not so cool. Because now I have like a person, gears is broken, obviously, it has to be repaired. But I'm good on this. Oh, I need new ammunition. So this means just, if I want to sell like trade goods, like I think like copper bars and wood, they would pay a lot more here. Ammunition, it's not terrible, but it's not great. Like 28 gold for this, or crowns. Call them crowns here, right? Yeah, I think in the beginning, normally I don't like doing that, but those spears, they can kill off a very dangerous target and without ever getting involved into melee. So I just buy them. I mean, it's something. This should be, yeah. We don't really want to go there. I'm gonna cut through it. There's a long road. Oh my god. Okay, I need some food in the near future. They kill them before I get there. My god. Wow. That's actually pretty good if you want to sell at certain places, because they pay 10% more. They have like a similar rebuilding effort, so if I would have stuff like that, it could be beneficial coming here. I don't know, I just checked them, just yeah, food is pretty expensive here. And you shouldn't buy only, let's say, grain, because there's like an event that can happen where people will get mad because they only eat grain for days. But those prices are very expensive. Like, this is like at least double what they normally are worth. Yeah, I don't like this, I just sell this. Okay, please, can I have follow the tracks? This could be good, but there's most of the time, this is what we want. This is the best mission you can get in the beginning. So you follow the tracks, and 1 skull means this is like always like 7 thugs. They are not crazy. They don't really have crazy gear or anything like that. And this is like the opponents you really want to beat. So I'm thinking if I can beat this really good and I get like some upgrades from this, I can maybe even do like the other ones. So we definitely want to do that. No injuries. Let's have like a last check. This looks fine. Okay. Good thing about this, they always say like where it's like roughly. So it's in the west. Why? Maybe a small trick. Yes, so the battlefield is generated where you are standing. So if I have attacked like from the north, it would be like rocky area, and this can be beneficial, but most of the time it sucks. Like, it's really bad most of the time. Like the terrain actually matters a lot in those fights. So it's flat terrain, it's like fine. Okay, what do they have? With the Alt key you can actually see armor values and how much HP they have. So the spears obviously are kind of dangerous because they hit pretty well. This you can basically ignore, they don't do any damage. This doesn't hit very well, but the good thing... Yeah, this is like normal flux. This actually, this fight is fine. Kind of want to move here and use that a little bit to protect the northern part a little bit. So just count 1, 2, 3, and then move up here. You can just end turn directly, because if you wait, you get like a small hit to your initiative. Now, I know this is all a bit like information overflow, obviously. But it's just like something, if you wait, it comes with a small cost. It's not like the biggest deal ever, but sometimes if one enemy is before you, he hits a bro and then he's maybe out of combat or even dead, right? This can happen, but I mean, you shouldn't worry about those things in the beginning if you're a new player. You just want to learn the grips of this game. Yeah, I mean, I only have 3 dudes here, right? So there's not much I can do here. This time I could actually throw once and then move. Sadly I didn't hit. So they run towards me because I have one range dude and they don't have none. So they don't have anyone. But if they have, like, let's say 2 poachers, they wouldn't come. So I have to come to them. So in the beginning, having at least one range bro, it doesn't matter if you use it or not. Against those fights, they make them easier. Because they come to you and then you can attack like once or twice beforehand, you know. Do I speedboat here directly? No, I don't. Because speedboat costs a lot of fatigue. He's actually pretty scary. They don't go in. Yet. Kind of want to play this really safe. Okay, but it's fine. This armor I really want to have, but I can't get all the armor. He's of course a very low target, but killing enemies will of course break their morale a lot. One hit. They don't play, so maybe I should have engaged, but then they get like full strings. There was a headshot, that was really good. You see, that was a big... That wasn't a strong enemy or anything like that. I would never prioritize and like... Let's say this is day 100. I would ignore that thug and kill like the raider for most of the time. It depends. Right? It depends what weapon they have. They die fast, and now this one has minus 10% of everything. This one, he even minus 20. Okay, wait, it's fine for me. I go in now. Why does this detect him? Doesn't make sense. Okay. This time I missed. But it's 50%. I just go with the one that has the highest hit chance. Double hit, and he runs. Great. Normally I wouldn't do that, but now I did. So I go in to keep him from running. want to play safe and I kind of want to have his armor. Yeah, if you headshot... What? Okay, let's... This is bullshit. This happens sometimes. I mean, he had a shield and our best armor. I think he had like double headshot or something. Yeah, double headshot. Of course. So I guess no armor, right? What I'm doing now, I'm surrounding him so that he doesn't run away. Kind of want to have him too, but then I don't have enough people. You need 6 people to surround. And now the daggers come into play. So there's like an attack called puncture. You're really not hitting well actually at all. But what this does, it bypasses all the armor and does like directly damage. And having so many people around him, and he's fleeing so he can't run away, will make the chances that you hit higher, of course. I miss. He goes in, regardless. Oh, okay. Okay, I have to move back so you don't run away. Oh, that's crazy. I never saw that happen. Finally, he's down. That was kind of scary. I mean, of course I want to have both, but if I go now, he will run out and I basically break his armor. So this is like that armor in the beginning. Maybe if I kill him fast, I can get after him. It will be tough, but I try. Two people. Only one needs to... Oh, okay. I mean, I don't need to do that, obviously, but... Like, what is happening? Okay, I have another dude now. I mean, at this point, I just want the experience. There's no way. 180. Come on. There's no way that works. It will. I just block. Yeah, I will get the experience. Because the armor is like wishful thinking, right? I mean, I try it, but there's no way I get like 2. I got 1. Those are very good armor upgrades, like very good. That net is probably from the dude who got killed. Shield's always good for the beginning. Yeah, I mean, compare this to the fight we had beforehand, where here I basically got like one item that is worth 25 crowns, or what was it? Okay, now of course I miss one dude, and he was actually not bad, so that kind of hurts a little bit. But yeah, we have some upgrades, and though they have good armor already, so I think I would prefer the sword here with him. So which bros I really want to protect? I think he can be a very good bro later on, so I give him like, it's like a tank. It's like a decent tank for later on, if he survives, obviously, right? I kind of like to do that because then in the fight you can make like quick decisions which one is more valuable, for example, right? I mean, that is maybe a mediocre and early banner. Sadly doesn't have like stars here, and I would prefer at least 1 star in HP. Yeah, this is yeah, okay-ish range, or a hybrid, but hybrid is like melee attack is too bad. Ulf the Lover. Sadly have to erase your name, even though I like him. I mean, that's a decent melee bro, right? Resolve is not too bad. That's fine. HP is kind of whatever. I mean, this is a minstrel. That's, yes, 4 melee defense in the beginning and 4 stars. I mean, he will not be a great dude, but at the end he could be maybe a dude with a 2-handed sword or something, right? If you do those runs where you do everything randomly, you can't wait until you get like the perfect bros all the time, right? And if you don't play with cheats, like for example, there's like a cheat where you can see what the bros you maybe want to try out or hire, what stats they have. Like there's like certain versions of it. I just disabled all of that, and you kind of have to do something with people you have, right? And this is sometimes not easy to see for like a new player what they actually need. So there's of course like some game knowledge about this, but I will form everyone I got. Some they're just like not usable, but he could actually be somebody who is standing at the front lines, have like a 2-handed sword, and it's not like the craziest fighter ever, but he's not terrible, right? I don't really have to fix too much here. Sure, of course I have to use every time melee attack, but I mean, yeah, he has 3 stars, so he's at least usable. So he's like, I would say, yeah, he's a decent, or I would say even like a good, for cultist standards, that's actually a crazy dude. Good melee. Knut, what are you? You can become... Yeah, that could be a fine, let's say, melee fighter, because like he has 2 stars, starts with 2. It's a fine role actually. He has good HP, resolve is like whatever, and this thing of course helps a lot, right? But he could also become like a tank. Tank or melee. I would just figure it out. I mean, in the beginning, level them kind of simultaneously. Tank, you always take fatigue, but I think he will just become like a melee dude, because not having stars fatigue and tanks need fatigue a lot. You really have to level that. I think you kind of want to shy away from this. Yeah, he's basically just a dude. He's like a meat shield, or I call them fodder, but because he has very high starting stats, he's like a fodder plus. Sorry, dude. Hardebrand. So now, of course, I kind of want to upgrade some people. There's a net, that's fine. I really want to keep him. He shouldn't be in melee anyways. Yeah, he's a decent tank. I want to keep him, so I give him this. Give him I will hire one extra dude, so, and he needs like good armor, so can maybe give him this. Okay, you want to repair stuff. What you need. Oh. Leveling. I think I could make a 2-hour video just talking about leveling and what perks make the most sense. But I try to make like a general idea, right? I mean, I chose the Peasant Militia for like a specific reason. So I need like a sip of coffee for this. Wait a second. So my idea is I want to build like a very strong bro, right? Very strong company. And I want to utilize Fearsome. I will explain that, why this is actually a pretty cool perk. But to utilize this to the fullest, I need this fortified mind, or people who have like very high resolve. We talk like 50 or even 60 resolve for normal bros. So everything you hit and every time you make like HP damage, you get like one of those morale checks that you saw earlier when I killed like enemies, for example, right? The other ones, they get like a morale check too. And this happens anyways, but Fearsome does a like an additional one. And this becomes kind of crazy if you have weapons that hit multiple people and even always make like some sort of like melee damage, HP damage. So I will have later on, and this will be crazy, I think at least like 2 or 4 bros with like, they have like sword lances, so they can hit like 3 people from like afar. And I want to have like at least 2 to 3 or maybe even 4 gunners. And they will all have Fearsome. So I need like at least 3 or 4 ranged bros that are pretty good. And you build them in a certain way. They need like certain stats. I will of course look for those recruits that can potentially be that. I think our range bro here, he's maybe good for the beginning. He can carry a little bit, but you want to have more. You want to have at least like 1 or 2 stars, because with guns you hit like 3-4 targets, and then having a bad range attack of course misses a lot of shots, and this kind of defeats the whole purpose of hitting a lot of enemies, having a damage that is kind of like armor penetrating, so you always make like a little bit of HP damage, and yeah, you basically get those chain routes that a lot of people then just run away. Like even crazy orc camps you can beat with that, because half of the enemies just run, right? This makes a lot of fights kinda easy, and on top of that I have like 4 dudes more, right? So I can fit in another sword lance guy, maybe even another tank to make it more secure. I can fit in another gunner that I normally couldn't. Sure, they're all not great, those bros, but I think in the end game, if you have 4 more bros, this completely blows my mind. I never had that before. I think this is completely broken. But yeah, I just think this out. So you always have like something in mind, but if you don't, the general idea in the beginning is you want to have bros that just survive, right? You want to have like some sort of like front line that can take hits and then survive. And there are certain trains that make sense. If you have bad bros, like some of them are actually not good. I mean, I don't really have particularly crazy bad bros, but like for example, if that dude would have like, let's say 47 melee attack, some cultists actually have that, you would maybe even take fast adaptation, right? So every time you miss, you get like a better hit chance next, so you don't miss all the time, right? So they have to have at least like some value. You kind of want to pick Colossus on most of them because you want them to survive, right? So they're just like your meat shields, the people that just keep off like protecting the really valuable bros that you kind of want to bring it through the late game, right? So they're there to basically die out at some point, right? That is actually a very good trade for very bad bros that have 9 lives. So a one hit that maybe would kill him would make him survive, and believe me or not, a lot of the time that actually saves them. Not always, but of course. Like sometimes you have a bro, he has like 10 bleeds on him and gets like a headshot, normally should die, but then he didn't and all the bleeds are gone. So sometimes this actually helps, right? On them, you kind of even want to have, like, of course, gifted to boost up their stats. You want to have, like, things on them, maybe dodge, right? So they have, like, higher defenses. They don't get hit as much as often. If I get higher with them, they sometimes even get, like, shield expert, maybe even rotate. They're just there. Like, underdog is a very good trade too. So they don't get, like, this... so if there's more enemies around them, they don't get like so much bonuses hitting the person. So just like traits that make the likelihood of this bros that he basically survives longer. That is basically the idea here. And in the beginning, especially when you play cultists, of course I compare that to cultists because I play them so much. You have very bad bros, most of them. But you always have like one or two very, very high value bros you really want to keep. Like those, I don't know, dumb hedge knights that have like 65 melee attack and 3 stars. Of course, you don't want them to die. Then you have like people that you just throw them, then they just block the hits. They get killed, and you bring them in sometimes very dangerous situations because you can, right? So the idea of this is, if a bro dies, it's fine. I mean, I just lost one, I mean, whatever, right? He is dead, but he was in the front line, so this is basically his purpose. It's kind of like, I think it's kind of funny to say, the surviving of the fittest in some sense. The big goal is having later on a roster of, let's say, at least like 10 to 12 really good dudes, and some dudes that are just there to take basically the hits. So don't get attached too much to your bros, especially if you play on the highest difficulty, because sometimes you just saw a dude with a shield and the enemy had like a hit chance, I think like of 30%, just double headshotted him and killed him. I mean, those things happen even later games. I saw situations where like a level 15 bro got like one shot in the arena from like a gladiator with a hammer. Because that dude forgot to take a steel brow. That's actually a trait here. It prevents like critical headshots. But yeah, I don't want to go too deep into this. I just want to explain like general concepts, what you basically want to have. For a tank, you go very you go very defensive too, right? So for example, if you would level up him, you would always take this. Melee defense is one of the most important stats, like for everything that is in melee, obviously. And normally you would level HP and fatigue, but his resolve is not good. And tanks they need like some level of resolve because they always get attacked and people walk in their, let's say, zone of control, and they always get like those checks. And if you only have like 35 or let's say 40 resolve, you sometimes miss that. And the worst tank you gonna have is the one who runs. So you absolutely want to prevent that. As a cultist, it's not like a big deal because they get like a lot of bonuses to their resolve. But for them, for a tank, he should at least have like really 45 to 50. Like he really should have that. And I got lucky, like that's a very high roll, so I just take that. As a trade in the beginning, a lot of new players, they got greedy and they just take student. Hey, then they level faster, so I'm stronger. But often the time, this 25% more HP in the beginning, and as a tank, of course, you want to have that. You want to survive as long as possible. I take this for almost everyone, like in the beginning, right? So this is an early banner. Banner are very, very unique. They have a very supportive role, so they roll a little bit different, right? Let's give him like, if he gets attack in melee, I have something. Yeah, so they will have later on, they will have bags and belts because they carry like nets and maybe even potions, or they have a whip. So they are, sorry, I kind of popped that a little bit. They support a lot, and that is the main role. Of course, they should attack, so they should be able to hit things, but they generally speaking never in melee. This is a pretty old build. Somebody came up with that. I have no idea. That's a long time ago. But because he's like, let's say, in your back, even at the start, you could go with that if you know what you're doing. If you don't, then you just go Colossus. Because he will get shot at and he has to survive. You only have one of those normally, and you really want to keep him alive. And that's very unlucky. If you don't have stars, you can see what basically can happen. You get like very bad rolls, right? Yeah, I don't like taking warners. Sometimes I take ones in melee defense because sometimes you desperately need that for like frontline bros. They have too low, and then they're basically useless. So yeah, of course. But you want to go with this basically every round. HP you need a lot of too, and because I want a whipping and maybe even you will use whips a lot. Taking one or two of them a little bit actually in the beginning is fine. So this wasn't like really bad because I got like kind of high rolls. But normally you want to take melee attack, then resolve, and then you go with range defense, HP, kind of like that. Ranged bros are, you can like, there are probably different opinions on this, but range is actually a pretty crazy topic. But to make it easier, in my opinion, you want to have throwers or gunners, right? So at some point they are kind of similar, but you decide what role he should play, or what exactly he uses when he hits like the mastery, right? Those are like the weapon masteries. They're all different kinds. Something that is like maybe a bit odd, that it's not like self-explanatory, is if you want to whip a lot, then you have to have cleaver mastery. They just put that in. And when you have a gunner, he has to have like crossbow. There's crossbow and firearms, so it's just like easier than in one round. Those masters that do like cool things, you can just look them up. Just like you not always have to use them, but for ranges they are really important. And especially when you have a thrower, I mean, you can see 30% increased damage when you hit somebody who's like only 2 tiles away. And you can see later on when I'm fighting like, yeah, a lot of enemies that have shields and have like 2 or 3 from like behind my main line, they completely rip the enemy apart. Like, they are very strong. I think this is one of the highest DPS bro you can basically build. And what I like to do, and this is not a bro suited for that, I make them a hybrid. So then you have like throwing mastery, and then they have like berserk, and they have killing frenzy. So you can throw, maybe kill a target, and then you can switch to polearm and hit once. So this is how I kind of like to build them. Not sure if I build all of them like this, because again, my general theme is here making a fearsome group, you know. But in the beginning, I mean, he has good HP. Really don't need this. And you could go to be extra safe, but no. So with him, I actually go student, because he's a range. He shouldn't get attacked at all, right? At all. Yeah, good thing he rolled like a 3. That was actually pretty lucky. A little bit of extra XP isn't bad. And with ranges, I want to have at least 40. So I take 1 roll. It's a very high roll, so I just take that. So there you go. Good melee fighters. So I think there's like 2 general concepts. Either you build one crazy fighter who goes in with berserk, 2-handed weapon, and slays a lot. But I like to build them more durable and make them more versatile. So I will have them with 2-handed weapons. I think this will be either axe or mace. Maybe a hammer or 2 in between. I mean, I have a lot of dudes here. Or maybe with flail if I find like a good famed one. But they are fatigue neutral.